Hello! I am very grateful that you are here. I am currently raising funds for my treatment, and your support means a lot to me. If you enjoy these stories, please subscribe to my channel and give it a like. This will help me continue doing what I love. Thank you for your support and for being with me. This is the story of a man who sacrificed his own career for the sake of the family business, only to be betrayed by his loved ones instead of receiving gratitude. He walks away to start his life from scratch while watching the company crumble under his brother's leadership. How far can family intrigues go, and what will turn out to be the best revenge, coming back, or complete indifference? This is Real Talk Tales, the channel where I share real people's stories. I spent years saving our family's dying business, only to be betrayed in the end. Watching it fall apart now is the best revenge. I devoted almost my entire life to the family business. I had a promising career in the tech industry, which I gave up to save the business during tough times. My family decided to reward my efforts by making my brother the sole heir. Honestly, this became the greatest betrayal of my life, and probably the most hurtful thing anyone has ever done to me. I decided to leave and start my own venture. What happened next to my brother in the family business was simply astonishing. A bit of context, my great-grandfather founded a small import company that was passed down from generation to generation. My father and grandfather put their hearts and souls into it, and things were going well. But when I was 24, a tragedy hit our family. My father was in a serious accident that led to significant brain damage. He was paralyzed for almost 2 years, and my brother and I had to take over running the business. My brother decided he didn't want the responsibility and essentially just ran away. I couldn't bring myself to abandon something so important to my father. My great-grandfather died when I was around 9 or 10, and I knew it would have hurt him deeply to see no one in the family continue his legacy. At that time, I had just started working in the tech industry and already had a promising position, but I quit, and to this day, I don't regret it. I dedicated the best years of my life to the business and worked hard to grow the company. I didn't achieve wild success, but profits were the highest they'd been in decades. However, everything fell apart when my brother, who had done absolutely nothing for the company, inherited it. That was a real shock. Last month, my father passed away. After the will was read, I learned that almost the entire company had been left to my brother. I remained as CEO and was supposed to receive a decent salary, but my brother got ownership, and all decisions were now his. I didn't expect this and was extremely disappointed. I had put my heart and soul into the company, and my father's decision felt like a real betrayal. I asked my mother if she knew about this. She said that my father had talked to her about it before he died. That was another blow. Their reasoning was that my brother needed to learn to take responsibility, and my leadership would help him do that. My mom tried to comfort me, saying I would still make the same money, but it was never about the money. I felt all my efforts were devalued. I deserved more. I didn't want to be a babysitter for my brother and essentially carry all the responsibility while he enjoyed being the head of the company. After much thought, I decided to resign. I didn't want to work with my brother for a single day. I had enough savings to take some time and consider my next steps. I knew that with my experience and reputation, finding a good job wouldn't be difficult, so I wasn't worried and resigned even before my brother officially took over. Now, a bit about my brother. Ever since childhood, he was lazy, irresponsible, and constantly spent money on nonsense. He loved living large, but never tried to make an effort to earn anything. We grew up in a well-off family, and he got used to this lifestyle without even thinking about how it was paid for. He saw money as something he was entitled to. As I mentioned, he refused to take responsibility after our father's accident when the business desperately needed leadership. Despite that, at first, I hoped he'd change and start making the right decisions once he became the sole heir. I tried to give him advice, but he always brushed me off, claiming he knew what he was doing. He was annoyed that I resigned and told me bluntly he could handle it himself. It quickly became obvious that he had no idea what he was doing. He started recklessly spending the company's money, hiring friends for positions they weren't qualified for, and throwing lavish parties to impress them. Meanwhile, our clients grew more and more dissatisfied. A few months later, my brother decided to get into manufacturing. This had been our father's dream, but I had consciously postponed it because of numerous difficulties. I think my brother believed he was competent enough to handle it. Spoiler, he wasn't. Less than 6 months after my resignation, the business began to collapse. The products were of such poor quality that the company lost huge sums without securing a single distributor. The company was hemorrhaging money, and my brother had no idea how to fix things. I found out about all this because it became public knowledge. But then some employees who had stayed after I left started calling and messaging me. They were practically begging me to come back and help save the business. At first, I was tempted to step in, but then I remembered how my brother had treated me and how he wasted everything I'd worked so hard for. I realized he needed to learn a lesson from this and decided to simply watch. The best part was when my brother himself came to me. He said the company was in trouble and needed my help to get things back on track. I asked if he was willing to give up his position and make me the heir if I returned. Of course, he said no and just offered more money. I refused because it was never about the money. Now the company is almost bankrupt and my brother has been left with nothing. His friends turned their backs on him and now he has to deal with the consequences on his own. Most employees were fired and the rest quit. It's truly a sinking ship. I won't pretend I don't feel some satisfaction at his disgrace. After all, my brother made my life a living hell while I was working at the company, and now he's getting what he deserves. But I also understand that bankruptcy has real consequences for the employees who worked honestly for the good of the company. It's also painful to realize that a business that had been in our family for generations has now been destroyed. But I don't regret leaving. Update 1. Wow, I'm amazed by the response to my post. Thank you all so much for your support and encouragement. It was truly heartwarming to read your comments and realize that I'm not alone in this situation. I took some time to think about my next steps, and it seems I already have a plan. In the future, I want to start my own business, but for now, I'll try to find a job where I can use my skills and experience. I'm excited to see where this journey will take me, and I'll definitely keep you all updated on my progress. I don't think I'll have any problems, but in today's economy, you never know how things will turn out. Wish me luck. Update 2. A few months have passed since my last update, and I'm very happy to announce that I've found a job. It's not as amazing as I had hoped, but I think it's more than enough at this stage. Work has been challenging. I still find it hard to get used to working for someone else and not being the one making all the decisions. As for the family business, it's a sad story. Many of you asked about my brother and what he's been doing all this time. As far as I know, he sold the company and is now having financial difficulties. He had to sell his luxury cars and townhouse. I don't know where he lives now, and he's no longer in touch with our mother. I know my dad left her enough money so that she can live comfortably for the rest of her days, and I would help her if she ever needed it, since my issues are with my brother, not her. It's a pity things turned out this way, but I've put it behind me and looked to the future with optimism. Again, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. Update 3. Hi everyone! It's been a while since my last update, and I want to share some good news. I'm working on my own startup. After almost a year working for someone else, I managed to gather the necessary resources. Now I have a small team of dedicated people, and we're working on several exciting projects. There's been a lot of work, but I'm extremely happy with how things have turned out. As for the family business, it officially no longer exists. It's a sad ending to a long legacy, but sometimes that's just how life goes. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned along the way, and I look to the future with optimism. Thank you all for your support. It's been a great journey, but it's time to start a new story. Comments. This story is further proof that in family businesses, the worst part is often how family members treat each other. The parents really let the older son down. To give everything to someone who did nothing for the business is just unfair. And the brother, well, he just destroyed something he never even valued. It's shocking how irresponsible the main character's brother was since childhood. And no one ever corrected it. People like that shouldn't inherit just because of family ties. The whole family should have realized the consequences earlier. Now, not just they, but also the employees have suffered. Reading this reminded me of my friend. She too spent her life feeling like she was valued less than her brother. The author of this story should have left even earlier, not wasted years trying to save something that meant nothing to others. And the brother? Well, that's a typical spoiled rich kid. This story reminds us that even those closest to us can let us down when it comes to money and power. It teaches us to value ourselves and not let others take advantage of our dedication. Sometimes, the best way to respond to betrayal is simply to move on and build your own happiness. Viewers should remember, true strength lies in the ability to let go of the past and move forward. Value yourself, and your life will definitely change for the better. Thank you for watching this incredible story with us. If it was interesting or valuable to you, like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the next stories.